What's going on, guys? FadeitLuie here, bringing guys a brand new video. We're gonna be doing a low mid fade on my boy, so stay tuned. We're starting off by creating our first guideline with our gold FX contouring to his head shape. Be sure not to press too hard when making the guideline with the trimmers. You don't want to make a harsh line, making it harder to take out. Now that we're done balding them out, we can move on to our no guard all the way open and create our second guideline. Using the lever midway and all the way closed is going to help us erase that initial guideline we created with our trimmers. Always be sure to use your opposite hand to stretch the skin. It's going to give you more room to blend. Now that we're done erasing our initial guideline, we can move on to our one guard all the way open and create our third guideline. We're also going to use this same guard and a lever midway and all the way closed to help soften up this line, getting ready for the half guard. Now that we're done softening up the line with the one guard, we can move on to the half guard and erase the line completely. This is going to help us blend the no guard all the way open to the one guard all the way open. Now that we're done with our lower guards, we can move on to our 1.5 guard all the way open and create our fourth guideline. This is going to help us blend into the darker hair on top and connect the rest of the fade to the bottom. When cutting very curly, coarse hair, it's always good to use a brush to lay the hair down. guys are enjoying the video, please leave a like, comment, and subscribe is greatly appreciated. Also be sure to check out my live streams. I'm usually live streaming every day, editing or cutting hair. Sometimes there's still a faint line after using your 1.5 guard, so switching over to your 1 guard all the way open and using the corners would definitely help. We're also going to start going with the grain with the 1 guard all the way open. That's usually considered the wavelength. Now that we're done going with the grain, we're going to go back in detail with our 1.5 guard. When detailing with your lower guards, it's always best to use half of the blade unless you're cutting or debulking. Now that we're done blending the sides, we're going to move on to the back and use our no guard all the way open, creating our second guideline. We're also going to use the lever midway and all the way close to help us erase that initial guideline we created with our gold FX. Now that we're done erasing our initial guideline, we can move on to our 1 guard all the way open and create our third guideline. This is right on top of the occipital bone, so you want to make sure you spend more time here and detail as much as possible. The hair is usually more denser here, so definitely pay attention. Now that we're done softening up the line with the 1 guard, we can move on to our half guard and erase the line completely. Since we're done with our lower guards, we can move on to our 1.5 guard all the way open and flick out as much as possible, creating our fourth guideline. Sometimes after using your 1.5 guard, there's still a faint line, so switching over to your 1 guard all the way open and using the corners would definitely help remove it completely. Now that we're done blending the back, we can move on to his front mustache, and we usually like to debulk it with the 1 guard all the way closed. We're also going to remove the stubble with our gold FX. Be sure to be careful when you're around the chin area because you could bite them with the teeth of the trimmer. Before we line him up, we're going to prepare the hairline with some hairspray, and we're drying it with our blow dryer. Now that we're done preparing the hairline, we can move on to our NST outliners and start off at the middle, working our way to the sides. When lining up the C-cup area, I always start off at the bottom and work my way to the top arch. This lowers the likelihood of you pushing them back. Be sure not to go too deep in the corners, you always want to keep them as natural as possible. Also, be sure to be careful with the corners of the blade when lining up the C-cups, because you could leave them a little irritated and bite them with the teeth of the trimmer.